How you doing, everybody? Average Jeff here, and today we're doing a quick vlog on some tech, and today some wearable tech. So this is the Garmin Vivoactive HR, a nice little activity tracker, if I might say so myself.
Here we go!
Now, I know this thing has been out for about a year now, and there's tons of reviews out there, so I'm not really here to give you all the specs of the HR. I'm here to tell you from a day-to-day, real-world point of view how much I like this thing. And the reason why I waited, for two reasons. One, I wanted the price to come down a little bit. It originally retailed about $250. Now, as of the recording of this vlog, it just hit $199 on Garmin's website, and I've actually seen it a little bit cheaper on other websites. But also, I wanted to give it time so Garmin could do all those software updates. So now that it's been out for a year, let me give you an honest day-to-day review of what I feel about the Garmin Vivoactive HR. So I think there's really like 5 key components when you're going to go out and buy yourself a activity tracker that's in that $200 mark. And the first thing is, yes, it has to tell the time. It seems like it should not have to be said, but hey, it has to tell the time. 2, it has to have GPS. This day and age, don't buy an activity tracker that doesn't have GPS at that price point. GPS is the only real way to accurately record time and distance and pace and all those great activities that are listed on this thing. If you don't have GPS on this thing, then it's only making estimations. The third thing I would always ask for at this point is a built-in heart rate monitor. Heart rate monitors were seen a couple years ago as, you know, the straps only, and they've done much better with the wrist-based heart rate monitors. And let me tell you, this one's pretty good for your everyday, your weekend warrior. This is going to do you well. The fourth thing I'm going to bring up, and this is probably the most important, maybe again the most obvious, is it's got to be able to track multiple activities. This has a lot of activities, and one of the strong points is it has probably more activities than you're going to need. But if you're that, again, weekend warrior, and you might just do any physical activity out there, it really has a lot of activities, and also lets you customize some as well if you need to add more. I believe if you're going to get a display, get one with a touchscreen that actually works. So these are all some basic things, and this one has some extras that I also think is pretty good. It has a sleep mode where it tracks your sleep, and also it has a really good app that works both on your Android or iOS phone. So I've been wearing this for about 4 days now. I've done multiple activities, and I am only maybe a little more halfway through the battery life. The battery life is fantastic. This is the #1 plus with this watch. Even with GPS, yesterday I actually did a 4-hour bike ride, a charity ride, and the battery didn't even go down 10%, and I used the GPS for more than 4 hours straight in that ride. Battery life, Garmin has got it down. GPS accuracy, Garmin is one of the best in the business. I wore this, used my GPS. I also had my cycling device, and they, after 100 kilometers, the two of them were less than 1/10 of a mile off. So I cannot say enough about Garmin's GPS accuracy. Consistently, I keep going back to them for having the most accurate GPS results. In the Vivoactive, they call it smart. It's not totally smart. There's good and bad. It's a love-hate relationship. So when you download the app to your phone, what happens here is you can receive notifications, you can receive text messages, but when the text message shows up, you can't see all of it if it's a longer one, and there's no way to really see that, so you have to go back to your phone. The other one I find really odd is you can answer your phone, it'll say answer or not, but in a real world situation, if you're wearing this and you hit answer, there's that time delay of kind of like get my phone to answer. I'm not really understanding. It's so when I say you can answer your phone, you hit a button that answers your phone, but you can't speak through your watch. They can't hear you. You can't hear them. So dislikes. First of all, if you have a smaller wrist, this band is really way too long. I put this on. It wraps all the way around and comes up the other end. I'm not sure why in this case Garmin didn't make multiple size bands. As you can see, it comes, so just know if you have a smaller wrist like I do, or you're a petite person or a female maybe, know that that band's going to be really long. The other thing I don't really love is the style of it. I'm not really loving it. It's nowadays, most activity trackers are going to be watch replacements. If you're going to have a watch replacement, have it like a watch and not just kind of like a piece of plastic. The other thing, as I just mentioned, is you try to find the right balance for the heart rate monitor. If you can see, they protrude that heart rate sensor, and like I said, it indents your skin. After about 2 or 3 days, I did have to take it off. It did start bothering me. So I think that that's a flaw in the design of this. If you wear it too loose that it doesn't bother you, it won't do the proper heart rate monitoring. Keeping the screen clean is not easy either. So my number one dislike in this watch is the brightness. The brightness is terrible. It's nice that it has a color screen. It's nice that it's clear and you can, for the most part, see it in the day. But for me, this is virtually unreadable at night. Even there is a backlight to it that you click, but the backlight, even in its highest setting, is not adequate. I don't understand why more people are not screaming about this. I understand that having a dim display improves your battery life. We need a balance, Garmin. Come on. It's too dim. I cannot see it. And with some of these screens and some of the small wording, if you're cycling or you're running, especially at night or in the morning, you're not going to be able to read it. So you have to physically stop to be able to read the display. It's been one of my biggest issues with Garmin for a long time, all the way back to their initial Forerunner watches and the brightness with those things. I don't know why they can't figure out how to give you a brighter watch, even if it makes the battery life suffer a little bit. So the battery doesn't last 5 days. Maybe it lasts 2.5 days. But if you can give me a display that's twice as bright, I think most people would say it's well worth it. Just want you to see the comparison next to the Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch is not backlit, but look how bright the Apple Watch is compared to the Vivoactive. I mean, this I can see at night in any sport. This I cannot. Now, one thing I do gotta say is they have a mobile app called the Garmin Connect IQ, and this has to actually be one of the best interfaces or best mobile apps out of all of them. I like this better than Apple. I like this better than Fitbit. This, on the other hand, is very bright, is very clear. It gives you a lot of information. It's easy to navigate. You can click on any sport that you've did in the past. You can change it. You can go through multiple views. It's just user-friendly and it's nice. And it's one of the best out there in my opinion. So the only thing I can say is if you can give me that brightness and that coloring on the watch face that you can give me in the app, I'd be 100% loyal customer.